quick slip, hip dip, and I'm twisted. And your hands and your lips and your tongue trip. You're so big, and you're so big, and you're so
Pardon me, do you have change for a quarter? I gotta make a phone call. Thank you. Oh, I hope this woman don't take me to no changes today, because I had a hard day today, man, you know. Let me see what's happening at the address before I go home.
right, guys. We're ready to start. Okay, hold on. Man, why does it keep doing that? Every time I lose the... There we go. I gotta do that every time? That sucks. Alright, guys, so before we start, let me welcome everybody. Kick-Ass Wolf, welcome. Austin, Ryan, Bobby, welcome. BJ Racing, AZ4 Runner. So for now, it's just us. Let me see, how's my Friday? I'm doing well. I hope you guys are doing well. Let's see. Ryan wants to know if online is cross-platform. No, it's not. They said that they do have plans for it for the future. So who knows when that'll happen. I do think most developers of most games, I think at some point should start pushing for cross-platform. I think that's good for gaming in general, especially racing games. I think this benefits everybody. I don't think it's gonna cut out anybody from the market. But iRacing did say that they have plans for it. That doesn't mean it's gonna be the next game, but down the line at some point. So I'd love to see that. But yeah, unfortunately not right now. Let's see. What's up, Bobby? BJ Racing. And okay, you already answered that question. So yeah, it's not coming right now. AZ4 Runner sent me a request. Yeah, I saw that. Next time I'm on iRacing, I'll if I remember, I'll make sure to check for it and I'll accept it. This way I know when you're on, I'll stream your races, TV broadcast. Yeah, that's cool, man. I really appreciate that. That's cool, man. Let me know what's your YouTube channel. Just post that up there real quick. This way I know about it. Addicted to Speed, welcome. Did you know the truck race is on right now? Is it? Holy shit. Hold on a second. Give me a second. What the fuck is the truck race on? Oh man, I forgot. What is that? What are the trucks on? Do you need that CW app? Because I'm not doing that. Excited for NASCAR 25, random, but the menu and driver selection screen is super clean. Yes, I agree. I really like that. That's one of the things I really like. Let me check this real quick. Let me
It's pretty awesome to be able to kind of get on again.
give me a second.
When it comes out.
Where is it?
The grip levels were accurate and impressive.
Actually show it.
First time seeing my friend as LeBron overall.
Their game, which is
Can impact driving. It's a great thing because it is.
So,
There's never time at Daytona when
Everything looks good. I just can't. I really can't find anything to complain about at the moment. Damn, where is it? I think it's when Raja's on. Yeah, here we go.
The driving characteristics to the audio, the visuals, you can tell the footprint that iRacing had on this platform. It's a great thing because
Yeah, it's pretty clean.
shows how next level video games can be.
iRacing is huge. So, just the opportunity for it to go to a game console.
I don't know anything about Rev Racing. That a truck series? A truck series team? Here we go. There it is. That's clean. I love that. I like minimalist stuff. Oh, it's on FS1? Alright, hold on. I'm gonna try to get that on. Hold on. Let's see if I'm capable of doing this because I suck at this. Alright, account overview. Here we go. Let me sign in. Give me a second, guys. Oh, you guys can see that? Okay. Where is it? Dashboard. I know I paid my fucking bill. My plan? No. Count settings. Come on. Oh, this sucks. Alright, sign in. Account overview. Come on. Overview. Oh, okay, here we go. Watch files, TV, okay. Alright, hold on, sign in. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, hold on, I'm setting you guys up. I actually do like the Verizon TV thing. I have the app on my phone, but the only thing I don't like about it, they don't give you access to every channel. Sometimes there's something you want to watch and it says if you're not in your house, they won't let you do it. So I don't like that. I think that sucks. Alright, so FS1. I'll find it. Where is it? Alright, here we go, here we go. Isn't that okay, here we go.
Adjustments, so he's going to fall back there to row 17, and it's going to be fun to see what these guys are capable of doing, Jamie, how much they can get up through the field here.
Well, we know the speed that Caden Honeycutt's had all year, but he's in a different truck, so we shall see. Well, let's say good evening now to our pit reporters, Todd Bodine and Amanda Busick. Good evening, Amanda. You're up first.
Hey, Jamie. Yeah, you guys were talking about Lane Riggs. He comes into this race as the winner of 2 of the last 3 races. Well, this is also Lane Riggs' 3rd ever race on a road course. He told me he was surprised how well he appeared at the prior 2 appearances on a road course. But when I asked him where this team is right now, he said, we have great equipment, we have me, and we have good points position, something he plans on defending here tonight. He predicted a top 5 finish as the Ford truck rolls off 6th. Todd, it was amazing hearing all these friends yell with you for driver start your engines. Take it away.
Thanks, Amanda.
Why is this not showing?
You know, I really think that it's underestimated how tight the racing community really
This
is.
sucks.
Not just
Hold
our
on,
NASCAR
hold on.
community, but every racing.
I have it.
I asked Christopher Bell after qualifying, what does it mean to you to get into this truck? And he sung the praises of Stuart Friesen. He knows that Stuart is a legend in Northeast modified dirt racing and how good he truly is at it. But he said it's even more than that. He understands how hard Stuart and this HFR team have worked to get to this point. You know, they've been a struggling team for a few years now. They've won a couple races, but right now, they're right where they want to be.
I don't know why it's not popping up.
Team. Jimmy Villeneuve has done a great job.
I'm sure you could hear it.
Stuart. And believe me, Christopher
YouTube
Bell
is
is
gonna allow.
incredibly appreciative to be in this truck.
That's what it is.
A nice tribute to Stuart on your hat there, and well done on the command to fire
That sucks.
engines.
All right,
Michael, how about the Craftsman track
let me close that.
Well, me and Regan ran through this crazy place.
You're right. That sucks. Oh my god. DD1, 2 streams. Alright, let me see. Hold on. God damn it. Bear with me. Let's see. You said... No. Agree 1,000 many easier than ever. It looks like be hardware acceleration. I don't know, man. Now that this is going above my head. What have you? And it's blocking the video. Oh, that's probably what it is. What's up, Cool Cat? There's a setting in Chrome that allows you to show that, but I don't remember it. It's not worth it, man. Oh my God. Technology is making my brain hurt. Yeah, this is fucking too complicated. Let me see if, hold on. Let me see right now. Sorry, can't show it on YouTube because it will be copyrighted. Watching on the open link available. Yeah, I don't think. Nope. Damn YouTube. It's not gonna, I don't think it'll let me do it. It's not worth the effort. It's not worth it. Let's see. Twitter. We'll just leave it there. Yeah, it's not worth it. There's something else I wanted to see. Hold on a second. Where are they racing? Oh, they're at Watkins Glen. Okay. No. Let's see. All right, we got some, at least, let me show you some fucking screenshots. Something. Properties. Boom. Where is this? Okay. At least I'll leave this in the background. Let me see what else is here. Hold on. Got some cool shots. I mean, these are low resolution shots, but it looks good. Yeah, everything's clean, man. This looks great. I love this shot. You could see the mirrors working. Right. So, if there's anything you guys want to ask my thoughts on, this is the time to do it. Man, I really want to know when the PC version's coming out, and I have no idea. I heard, yeah, I gave up on it. There's no point. Yeah, what was I saying? I already forgot. When I get the game, I'm jumping into career mode, and I'm gonna start off. They said that you start off ARCA at Rockingham. They put you in that race, sort of like, hey, this is your first race to show what you can do. There's a goal that you're supposed to meet, and depending how you finish, I guess you get a specific scenario or contract offer or whatever it is, right? That's to break you into your career. That's what they said is going to happen. I think that's the best way to do it, to be honest. I know there's people that complain about, that's not realistic. They're not just going to take a nobody and drop them into a race. It's like, you got to start somewhere. It's a video game. So I have no problem with that. I think it's good. But that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to dive in. And I'm going to, take that head on. I'm going to start off. I'm going to put all the settings to the highest settings. I'm not going to have any whatchamacallits, anything that aids to help you. I'm just going to go in hardcore, highest setting. And if I fucking get my ass kicked, so be it. But I am going to do some practice and stuff like that just to get a feel of the car. And then I'm just going to take it that way. I'm mostly going to be on career mode. I'm going to try some online as well, just for fun. but that's really what I'm looking forward to. And that's the way they plan on doing it. They're just going to like kind of drop you into an ARCA race at Rockingham, and depending how you do. It's like if you play NBA 2K, that's kind of what they do. They just put you in college, right? Whatever college you pick, and you play a game or whatever it is, and depending on your performance, you get certain, you end up being drafted at a certain point. So, yeah, they're not going to start you in fucking junior high school, right? They're starting you in college, and then you jump in. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take it the way it's meant to be taken. Let's see. Cool Cat. Honestly surprised how much the gameplay they showed us reminds me of Heat. The physics look interesting, though. It's like basically NASCAR Heat 6 if it was actually good. Here's the thing. When you really think about it, it's a NASCAR game. It's going to look similar to Heat or even Technics or any of these games, right? You're at a racetrack, you're racing, you got the specific camera angles and whatever user interface. There's only so much you can do to make it feel different. So that's something I'm actually surprised people focus on that so much. Like, this is exactly what I was picturing from a NASCAR game. No matter who made it, it's gonna look similar to this. Other than, the user interface looking slightly different, whatever. It's clean. The graphics are solid. It's pretty much what I expected. And I don't see how it can be that much different. That's just my take on it. Let's see. Bobby says it's just fun to see people make videos on a new NASCAR game again, especially like What If and you. Yeah, I think What If is probably... I know he's pretty down on these games and stuff. But I think I'm really encouraged. I have a glass half full mentality when I see what's going on. I think he's going to want to get back in. And I think he's going to enjoy it. I'm not making guarantees or anything like that. But we really got to get away from, NASCAR Ignition. That, to me, that was an albatross, right? It was a one-time thing. That whole thing was a scam. Like, motorsport games, the way that they came together, you could see the writing on the wall when their main goal was to buy out all the licenses to everything because they didn't want competition. They never made anything before. They just cobbled together people, and decided this is what we're going to do. This is not going to be the same. All of these people have been associated with the best NASCAR games of the past that we've had, right? Even going back to the Thunder Series, going back to the Heat games were not terrible. Like, most of the complaints we had as a community was based on what was missing, right? The game itself, it worked pretty well. There were bugs and glitches here and there, but everything functioned. Like, it was a playable game. And there was some enjoyment to it. They were not bad games. And I personally thought NASCAR Heat 4 was the best game we had in the past decade, right? So there's a lot to like about those games. And like I said, most of my complaints were based on what wasn't in the game. And the fact that it felt like everything was a piecemeal, right? It was just Band-Aids and, baby step improvements. And we were like, damn, when are we going to get, all of these things that are basic stuff really that are missing? You got to cross the finish line at some point. It never really seemed to happen. So that's what was, to me, the most of the negative stuff. But I think if you really want to be fair and look back, they weren't terrible games. They were just plain and bare bones, right? And I think here, just looking at the things we've already seen and the things they've talked about that we know are going to be in the game because they are confirmed, right? In terms of the career mode, hiring people, stuff like that. We are getting something that would, normally would take 3 games, right? 3 game cycles. This is a pretty robust, I don't want to go too deep with it because we still don't know what this game is. But from what they're showing us, and they're really, the confidence behind it, I really think this is going to be a really, really good game. I don't want to go past that because we still have to play it, but I'm pretty pumped up about what I'm seeing. And if you really look at it in terms of the first game, right? They surpassed what I thought they were going to try to give us, right? Just going by what they've listed. And the scale of the game is much bigger than I would have expected. So most people in the community were saying, just give me a game that works. They were even questioning, like, maybe if it's just a Cup Series, I don't care, I just want it to work. So how do you go from the bare minimum to now you expect everything? Like, to me, there's always an extreme when it comes to consumers and the NASCAR fan base. I'm trying to look at it more realistically, and also I came into it with higher expectations. I said I don't want to see a bare bones game. Like, I know it's the first game, but I do expect more. But they've surpassed anything I could expect. So I'm pretty excited about it. And it's pretty deep from what I could see. And it's the first game. Like, you're going to build on this. And I'm excited about the future. So, let's see. Addicted says be really cool. Be mod and paint schemes from trading paints into the game. Yeah, that's not going to happen. I would love that as well, but that's not going to happen. And I'll tell you, the last thing they want is people in the game and have a big schlong on the side of the car. It's like, you could create paints and upload them, and it could be anything. So you got to be careful with that. They don't want to deal with that. Although it would be awesome to have that level of customization. We're not getting that. I think what we're going to get is similar to the Heat games, templates, and then you could play around with a few things. But they've already said that we're also going to get, what they call shapes, right? So similar to what maybe Technics, where you could take shapes and alter them and stretch them out. Like, if you have an imagination, you should be able to come up with something. It's just, how easy is it going to be to use? That's what I'm worried about. I did think that the Technics paint booth was the best, but it was also it wasn't the most user friendly. I want to see something that anybody can just get in there and come up with something. So I never really had a huge problem with the Heat Games template system. My problem was there weren't enough templates. Like, if they focused on adding a lot more to the templates and different things combinations you could make, I think people would have felt better about it. I'm not saying it's going to ever be a substitute for a full-blown paint booth, but I would be happy. Like, if you just gave me a lot of options, I'd be okay with that. And then you could switch things around and make it unique for you. The problem for me was they just gave you 12 templates, and it's like, then the other thing I hated about the Heat series was when you had to pick a paint scheme and you had to run it for the whole season. You could never change it. I want to see where you can pick a bunch of different paint schemes and say, you know what? And for each particular race, you could pick which paint scheme you want to run. So, at fucking Charlotte, I want to run this paint scheme and that, and, and have it where you could set it preseason, right? And then as you're running through the career mode, you don't even think about it. And then all of a sudden, oh, look, I'm at Darlington. Boom. Oh, I forgot. I'm running this paint scheme, and it's a cool surprise. options are always a good thing, and I hated that. That really bothered me even more than the lack of templates, right? That you pick one and that's it, and you couldn't change it until you finish the season or that that season. So I don't like those limitations. So I have no doubt that they are going to do a better job here, but it's not going to be a full-blown paint booth. So let's see, where am I? Bobby says, I like that What If mentioned that Noah Gregson said it drives like the Utechnics games, which is awesome. And What If said it's great too. Yeah, as much as I hate Utechnics, there were two things that I could say were really good about Utechnics. One, the paint booth, and two, the driving physics. They were pretty good. The problem with the gameplay for me was, as good as the physics were, the AI was terrible. It's probably the worst AI. Besides, actually, it puts up a good fight against Ignition for worst AI. I would probably lean towards Ignition being worse in the AI department. But Utechnics was horrendous, and it just wasn't fun to race the AI. No matter how good the physics were, the AI was just agonizingly bad. They were too easy. But the driving physics, yeah. If it's similar to that, I could live with that. That's not bad at all. All right, hold on. Okay, BJ Racing. I'm going to run some practice laps at Charlotte to get a feel for the physics, then do career mode. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. But I don't know, man. I want to feel this thing as... I want to go through it just with every step being new. So I'm going to run some practice at Rockingham. And then I'll just, whatever, I'll start in the back or wherever, and then try to work my way through the field. I don't know what to expect, so I'm gonna have it at the highest setting. I may find out that it's like too difficult. That would actually be a welcome experience, right? One of the things is that I'm really the thing at the top of my list is the AI. It's got to be challenging. It's got to be realistic as possible, good pit strategy, all that stuff. I want to make sure that's good, but yeah, if that's good, I think I'm really gonna have fun with it. So, hey, what's up, Taurus? Welcome to the live stream. Yeah, man, good to see you here. XC Gods, welcome. I'm just happy to have a new game. I really think it's going to be a decent game. We won't really know the whole plan for 2 or 3 games. Yeah, it's gonna. They said they have long-term plans. So there's a lot of things people are disappointed that split screen, multiplayer, right? People are mad about that. It's not in the game, whatever. I think as time goes on, they do plan on adding a lot of stuff. You just got to be patient. I'm really excited about this first game. I'm not looking at this first game and thinking there's something there that I really want to see, and it's not there, and it's a game-breaking issue for me. These little other things that may or may not be in the game are not that big a deal to me. My main concern has always been career mode, AI, and presentation. We have not had a NASCAR game with deep presentation. Go back, even the best games, the ones we all agree are the best, they weren't that deep with the presentation. In fact, the thing we remember most from those games, whether it's Dirt to Daytona or NASCAR Thunder 2004, was the pre-race. The countdown of the cars, and you go down, going through the field, that kind of stuff. But outside of that, I don't remember much in terms of presentation. We've just never really had deep presentation in a NASCAR game. Ignition tried to do it. It was okay. It's just, it just, I don't know what it is. It felt like it came up short for me. The graphics were really good, but it's 2025. We gotta have NASCAR games. I want to see them compete in terms of presentation with MLB The Show, NBA 2K, right? In terms of presentation, NBA 2K is still, at the top of the list for that, right? As bad as everything else has become, that's one thing 2K always does extremely well, is presentation. And that's what adds immersion to these games. We've never had that in a NASCAR game, and that's why I make such a big deal about it. I want to see this stuff for a change. So I do have some hopes, like that they're going, and it does sound like they're pushing for that for the first game, which I'm really happy with. Another thing we know nothing about is statistics. You guys know how important stats are to me. It should be just as important to everybody. This is a sports game. So, yeah, I'm curious to see what they do with that. But I really have a hard time believing that they're going to mess that up. I just don't see that again. Like you had Eutechnics and the early part of, I don't think it was Monster Games at the time. It was, I forgot what the name, the guys that brought the license from Eutechnics in the beginning. But for some reason, that core group, they just never gave statistics a second thought. How do you develop a sports game without stats? That will always be the most insane thing in all of NASCAR gaming. Like, I don't see iRacing not doing that. Now, I've never played 704 games, thanks. That Matt Lewis, welcome. Good to see. I think everybody welcome Matt Lewis from iRacing. Don't go crazy asking. I don't know if he's willing to answer questions, but I'm gonna say let him feel free to chime in if he wants to. Wow. So friend of the channel. I'm gonna call him friend of the channel because this is a small channel and he's always paid attention to us. So always appreciated. So like I was saying, maybe you could just let us know, hey, don't worry, we have not forgotten how important statistics are in a video game. If you could just do that, I will be more than happy. I don't think that's revealing anything crazy. Like, this is a sports game. And he says, yes, sir. And everybody can breathe a heavy sigh of relief, right? So if Elite Position is out there or What If Racing, it's been confirmed. We're not going to go through this again where you get a sports game, a NASCAR game with no stats, right? Statistics are important. You cannot have a serious discussion about any sport. It doesn't matter what sport you're talking about without statistics. Statistics is the biggest way of measuring the accomplishments of an athlete in any sport. So that will be something that remains in the past, that we can always point back and say that wasn't that crazy. But I knew it. iRacing would not mess that up. It's a basic thing, but that drove me insane. So as long as the basics are there, and that's what it seems to me, I'm very excited. It's exactly what I was hoping for. So it really does feel to me like the folks working on this game actually have been paying some attention to the community, right? And I've made a big deal of stats, presentation, those kind of things because I didn't really see anyone else in the community doing that. So I like to focus on things that other people are not. But I'm excited. So I know Matt Lewis is, he knows we're excited. it has to be a good feeling that you're working on a game that everybody is pumped up for. It's not the biggest gaming community, but I do think it is one of the most loyal. I could say, not loyal. Is loyal the right word? I don't think it is. Passionate, right? We're very passionate. And if you give us something we're asking for, we will support it. I'm gonna ask one question. I know the answer. I already know the answer is gonna be we can't say yet. We don't know yet. But PC release, what is the deal with that? I really need... Yeah, thank you, Matt. So, I'm just kind of worried about the PC release. How long do we have to wait? I understand if you can't give us the answer to that. That is not something I'm expecting. Like, I know the answer isn't going to be, oh yeah, it's going to be this date. But is it going to be long? A long wait. I don't know if you can answer that. I don't want to put pressure on the man. We want to be respectful here. Do I think day one patch? Again, it feels weird talking about this when I have the lead developer here, the guy in charge of development, the man in charge of development, just listening in here. I feel kind of weird. I'm not really answering. I'm just giving you an opinion, but I'm assuming there's going to be a patch. Like every video game, I don't remember a game that didn't release with a day one patch. It's just the way things are done nowadays. I'm if I'm wrong, I'm here to be corrected. Cool cat. I really would like to know more about the AI, how they race against the player. That's by far what I'm most interested in. I am as well. I don't want Matt to feel pressured into like every game has a day one patch. That's exactly what I just said. So it's almost as if I'm on the inside of what's going on. I'm not. I'm just kidding. But yeah, that makes sense to me. Yeah, so I don't want Matt to feel pressured like this is a impromptu an impromptu Q&A session. That would be great for this tiny channel, but let's see. Every game has a day one patch. They aren't pushing hard enough. LOL. Yeah, these deadlines I think are any big project. I've said this many times in the past. What the bigger a project is, the more likely it is that there's going to be a delay, right, of some kind, or things that you can't get to right away. So that's what makes sense to me. Not at all. I'm just hanging out, listening. It's cool, man. Wow. I will chime in where I can. I know there's certain things you gotta be careful on divulging, but keep this in mind. If I understand if you can't mention PC today, but as soon as possible, let us know what's going on with the PC side of things. I at least knowing it would help. I know that from what I heard. I don't know for a fact because I haven't played World of Outlaws. I heard that the PC took 5 months after the initial release to come out. So I'm really hoping that it's not that long of a wait. I really want to experience it on PC. But man, I am pumped up. And the game looks fantastic. It really does look good. Come on, guys. Don't embarrass me here. Let's have some questions. Pop them up. Oh, let's see. Dre, welcome. Would be awesome one day to have feature where you can set weather at road courses. Able to choose rainy conditions. I could see that coming down the line. Definitely not for the first game. Don Ben, Arca National should have all scheduled tracks. I do believe that Matt did say that the tracks that are going to be in the game are the tracks that are already on iRacing. So correct me if I'm wrong, if possible. If it's not in iRacing, in other words, if it's not a track that's already been scanned and it's not already an iRacing asset, I don't think it's going to be in the game, because they have to go and scan. It's not something they can just decide, hey, let's render the track without scanning it, so whatever. I'm assuming there may be a couple of tracks, probably ARCA, that if they're not part of iRacing, they're not going to be part of the first game. So that's what I remember, and if I'm wrong, feel free to correct me. So play with NASCAR, how the difficulty with AI wasn't balanced across all tracks. So would you do hardest difficulty in some races with? Yeah, I that's one of the things that I find with iRacing. I really like the AI in iRacing. You guys have watched me do some races, but the one thing is, you have to spend so much time running and tuning against the AI before you go in and find a setting you feel is just right for you, and then you go start the race. And in most video games, you set it to a specific setting, and usually it's pretty consistent across the board. So I am hoping that that consistency is there from track to track, and you don't have to like bounce around playing with settings. That would be good. Let's see, man. Do you know the cover star, the cover being shown off? I don't know if you're gonna get that info. Usually the cover, that kind of stuff, they like to just do it on their terms. He's not going to divulge that right now. I don't think. That's right. On tracks, we get them all from the sim. So again, that's exactly what I heard the first time. So yeah, if it's in iRacing already, it'll be in the game. If it's not, it's not going to be in the game. And you know, creating the track, it's not just rendering it artistically. They do have to scan as well. They want to have all those details in there. So even on iRacing, a lot of these tracks, they work on these tracks, and it does take a while. You know, they'll talk about it now. Usually they'll announce, oh, we are going to add such and such track. We're working on that. And then you forget about it. And then, you know, maybe 6 months to a year later, it's like, oh, there's an update. And boom, this track is now available. It doesn't happen quick. It takes a lot of work. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. If it's not on iRacing already as an asset, it's not going to be in the first game. It makes sense to me. I don't see an issue with that. Difficulty delta is on the players too. You're naturally going to be way better at certain tracks than others, just like SVG. Yeah, that is true. Like, I cannot argue with that. Like, if I put it, if I get on, there are certain tracks I really suck at, and I got to dial down the difficulty. So, I can't wait. I can't wait. This is right around the corner. I am pumped. Welcome, Mark Forget. Any plans for Gen 4 DLC in the future? Gen 4. I'd be surprised if there are plans for that. It would probably way down the line, I would think. BJ says, Matt Lewis, please tell me you made SVG overpowered on road courses. I'd love that realism. Well, they did say that each driver has ratings, and they're supposedly going to drive somewhat similar to their real life counterparts in terms of skill and behavior. So I would expect that SVG is going to be at the front most of the time. Let's see. Cool Cat. I'm optimal at all tracks. Matt. Yeah, Cool Cat. Yeah, he's going to dominate everywhere. Cool Cat's pretty good. He's not like me. I am very limited at skill. Matt says driver ratings are super cool. More on those soon. Okay. So I know we're going to get the game trailer is supposed to be more or less a month, you know, around the month before the release of the game, which I think is perfect. Disco knows all the answers already. Oh man, I appreciate that. So I like the feeling of that people listening in, they don't feel like I'm just some guy talking out of his ass, right? So I do the best I can, and if I don't know something, I am the first to say, hey, I don't know. So I appreciate that. Wow, this is cool. But this is the one thing I remember with the Heat series, right? And I know a lot of the Monster Group. I don't remember the guy's name, but he was the lead guy over there, and he did hit me up a few times. And it's really cool that that the game developer is listening into the community, right? That is such a cool feeling, and it's really appreciated. So, see, Cool Cat says, seeing legacy content in the future games would be really cool, even as DLC would be awesome. Like being able to have Auto Club, Race Gen 4, or the 87 car someday. Yeah, definitely. I'm only guessing, but there has to be plans in the future for legacy content. Like that, it only makes sense they would go there. Let's see, and we appreciate people who actually listen, don't just guess or spread bogus info. Yeah, I appreciate that. I always try to be fair as I can. If there's something to criticize, I will criticize. It's call it like I see it, but I also want to be fair. Like my main goal is to try to help push things forward where everybody's happy, if I can. I very rarely lose my shit unless the not having stats in the game. I lost my shit on that. So, but that's no longer a problem. Let's see, Bobby, will be able to use any series on any track. I've been watching on Twitter. There have been a lot of people asking about being able to use any series car at any track. So are we going to be able to put in our truck at a track where the trucks don't run? Are we going to be able to mix and match? Is that a question that can be answered? We'll find out. Let's see. BJ, my dream is to get a NASCAR game with the early to mid 90s NASCAR. I love those cars. I would think I could see that as DLC content down the line. What's up, Elite Precision in the house? So if you're just joining now, our buddy Matt Lewis, the lead developer, lead designer at iRacing. I hope I got your title right. That's going to be embarrassing if I didn't. But is in, hanging out with us, actually giving us some info. And he did confirm statistics will not be a problem. And I did tell you guys I wasn't worried about it, which is why I didn't bring it up. So if Elite is listening, don't worry about stats. They got that down pat. So this is really cool, man. I did not expect my live stream to turn into a mini Q&A session with Matt Lewis. I don't know if I should say that because it's not really the case, but it's cool to hang out. And everybody's behaving. They're not bombarding him with crazy questions that he can't answer. He's not going to be able to give us the info on everything. They have to do everything according to their marketing schedule. But I am expecting screenshots within the next couple of weeks. So I'm just guessing, but I think within the next couple of weeks. Yeah, man, stats are no longer an issue. So you're not going to see me raging about no stats in a sports game. That's going to be a thing of the past. It's in history. Man, I'm excited. I'm excited about everything. Have you been chiming into other people's videos and live streams? It would be cool if I'm the only one. I'm the only one with the inside access. That would be cool. I know I'm not the only one. So I'm really digging this cockpit view. Is this going to be adjustable? Welcome, Matthew. I feel like the customization is going to be good in this one. Yeah, like I said, I think it sounds good to me. I really think it's going to be... Let's see, I hang out a lot of places. I just don't think people realize it. You don't, do you always use your name, or do you have like an a ghost account? I would have a ghost account because I would think you'd get bombarded with all kinds of stuff. Driscoll is the inside man on the whole time. Yeah, spread that around. I work for iRacing. I'm on the inside. Bobby. So, Disco, you look for stats as far as like real life stats for real drivers, obviously, and in-game performance stats, like having both of those kinds. Yeah, I mean, it should be... You should have everything. It should be year by year, career totals. Also, just something to pin up, right? If you guys think it's a good idea, but I'd like to see, in terms of presentation, sometime in the future, where if and when you retire from your career and you want to start a new career, whatever, but when you retire, if your stats are good enough that you actually get inducted into the Hall of Fame, have that kind of presentation. That's just something I'm throwing out there. I have a lot of ideas, and I've made videos on them throughout the years. Like automatic crew chief, right? I shouldn't be doing this. I'm actually... I feel kind of awkward because I don't know if I should be... but what the hell. But automatic crew chief, I don't know if you've heard me talk about that. That would be a good idea. That would be great. If you could have a crew chief that's guiding you through your career and in practice help you with your setup, because most of us know nothing about car setups, and that would really be immersive. So I'm taking the opportunity to just put that up. Maybe you could pin that for the future. If you think it's a good idea, and I think who wouldn't. So I'm just throwing that out there. I don't know how many opportunities I'll get to just directly mention that. Let's see. Cool Cat. Thanks for joining. Let's see. Let's go. Do you think a feature of having random engine failures or blown tires, mechanical failures would be too frustrating for the player, or do you feel like it should be in at some point? Yes. I want to see random things. Tire blowouts, engine failures, whatever it is. And then you should be able to it should be optional, right? If you don't want to have that, then you don't. But if you want that random, right? And then, or you could have it where it rarely happens, or you could have it where it happens more often. That would be cool as an option, but definitely, right? I want those things that can just happen. It's going to be frustrating. It's going to be frustrating, once in a while, especially if you're having a good run, but it's part of sports. So I definitely would like to see that. I could see that happening. I would be surprised if it doesn't. Will there be a rivalry system in which rough driving will have consequences? I would like to see that. Matt says, what NASCAR game in history do you think did career mode best? Just curious. I would say NASCAR Thunder 2004. But honestly, I do remember really enjoying Dirt to Daytona. I think it's I put Dirt to Daytona and NASCAR Thunder 2004 almost as an even playing field. We do kind of give the slight nod to 2004 Thunder, I think because of the management of the career. So managing that stuff, having the ability to go in and hide and it was very detailed. And I think it's those little details that you remember the most. I feel like you'd be surprised at the things that you remember fondly. And it's most of the time I do think it's the smaller details. I would give the slight edge to Thunder 2004. Personally, I can't speak for everybody. I'm being interviewed. No, I'm just kidding. All right, let's see. Mark Forget says, I hope they don't neglect the sim racing community. We haven't had a good sim since 2003. Yeah, I think they're going to try to find a balance between arcade and sim, which is what they should do for a console game. It doesn't make sense to lean to full sim. But if you're expecting iRacing on a console, they've already said it, and I've always told you guys that's not going to happen. But if it's really good and fun, I don't think it matters. Michael Todd, welcome. The one thing I'm concerned about is the PC version. When is it going to come out? Yeah, I did ask that. I'm going to assume he can't reveal anything at the moment, because if he could, he would have mentioned something. But just keep in mind, we are concerned about the PC release. So the sooner we can hear what the plans are for that, the sooner we can kind of, okay, this is where we are, this is what it is, and then we could get over it. Not knowing is the worst part. BJ says, NASCAR 2005 is my favorite. I like 2006 for being able to own and join teams. Yeah, that was pretty good. I felt like after 2006, they definitely went downhill. Elite Precision says, I won't lie, I've been very pessimistic when it comes to this game, but the recent diary has made me feel a little bit better. Still curious about many things, but it's small things like, can the players DNF? Yeah. I haven't even thought about that. Cool Cat says, being able to fire a pit crew member for making a mistake and screwing you out of a win is fun. That would be cool if we got presentation for that, like where you actually just tell the guy, pack your shit up, get the fuck out. Or another thing for the future, right? Give us some fights in the pits after the race, right? You know, where you can actually confront another driver. Just a shoving match, whatever it is. Little things like that. And then you could have Dale Jr. on the podcast, talk about it. Maybe show us like when Ross Chastain punched Noah Gragson in the face. Those clips like that, I would like to see that. Just little ideas that I think would be fun. Bobby says, this should be a question Matt can easily answer. Will there be a look around camera? Usually with the right analog stick to look around the car. And yes, while I'm driving. Yeah, that sounds like something he can answer. I tried that at EA so many times. Tried what? I did do a lot of talking. But you let NHL team do it. Can you explain that? I lost track. Are you talking about the fighting? Oh my god, I remember the fighting on oh my god, that's I'm really dating myself. Fighting, yes. So what is that something that can be done, or is this something NASCAR is going to be like, no, we don't want that because of kids? I could see that happening. But it doesn't have to be a fight. Like, you can have a shoving match. Like, most of these drivers don't actually fight. They just put on a show. But you could have them like charging each other and then have the pit crews separating them. So it doesn't have to be a fight. You don't have to. I would love to see a real fight, but you know, like in real life, a lot of these guys pose, but that could be something. Anything you can add to presentation and layers, it's just, to me, it's going to give the game more life. Let's see. Elite Precision. By the way, I think it's cool we can hire a crew chief in the upcoming game. First time that's been, I think so. Yeah, it's been that long. Yeah. Wow. 20, almost over 20 years. It'd be cool if we could hire real crew chiefs like Cliff Daniels, Adam Stevens. Yeah, I wonder, are they going to be real crew chiefs or like the pit crew members and chiefs, or are they going to be fantasy, like made up stuff? Personally, it's never bothered me to have fantasy characters in the game, but if they're real, that's even better. 05 Chase for the Cup had fights, but they didn't actually punch each other. Well, that's realistic, because it's very rare. These guys don't fight. They just put on a show and then like a hold me back. But that's better than nothing. And then Dale Jr. on the podcast could talk about it, and then sponsors could get involved, right? And there's so much you can do. Let's see. I want a fight minigame. The fight minigame would be epic. That, I guarantee you, this would be something everyone would love. Like if you had the option to fight, like I want to go fight Carson Hocevar and actually just go at it with him, even if it's nothing deep, just land a few blows. That to me would be, it would add a whole half a point to the rating on the game. That would be cool. I want a fight minigame where I can just knock the shit out of somebody. Correct, Cool Cat. They were cutscenes of dudes being angry. Yeah, even, look, man, I understand if you can't actually have them fighting, but in real life, they don't fight. These guys, they pose, right? And they wait for people to hold them back. That is more than enough. Just for future reference. I don't think we're getting that first game, but that would be something I would work on. Circle Club, welcome. Signing autographs minigame to boost your reps. Oh yeah, I remember that. That would be nice. Like, this is what I'm talking about. If you notice, people are bringing up little details, right? And it's the little details that you remember. And that's what, always keep that in mind. No matter how small a detail is, never underestimate how much of an effect that can have on the game. Those little moments. Like, I'm just going to bring up one example with NBA 2K. If you've played those games, I just remember the first time where I actually there was a commercial with me in it. And there's face scanning in NBA 2K. So keep that in mind for the future. Where you can play as yourself. Your image is in the game. And the first time I saw a commercial starring me in the game, and it was a full commercial, it blew me away. And it made me so much more excited playing the game. It was those little details off the court. And that's what I've been telling people for years, that these NASCAR games have not had enough off the track activities or just things happening. It's been mostly go to a race, run the race, race over, go to the next race. There has to be some life to the game off the track in between races. And it does sound to me like iRacing is putting their best foot forward, especially with this being a first game. I'm really excited. And just keeping in mind, the details really matter. Let's see. Elite says, I know when you start off, it'll most likely be fantasy crew chiefs to select, but once you start to become wealthy in your career, you could afford a real life crew chief. That would be cool. It's just, Yeah, it gives you a reason to want to succeed. I missed the pit stop mini game where you press buttons correctly. Here's the thing about the mini game during a pit stop. I'm not sure that would be. I don't want to shoot down ideas, but from what it sounds like to me like iRacing is trying to make this where the game is, and this is what I love to hear. The game is mostly going to focus on having your point of view as the player, as the driver. What you experience in the game is going to be from that end. So to have a mini game where you're changing tires, I'm not sure that might kind of break the immersion of that point of view. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Unless they want to do a thing where you don't even drive. You're a pit crew member for a team. That would be a cool thing. Like you could actually just be a pit crew member or even a crew chief and not even drive. Hold on a second. Cool Cat says, I hope it's not too easy to make friends in career mode. I want it to be a challenge to make allies, but really rewarding if you can do it. I'm not even sure they're going to have that rivalry / friends thing. I haven't heard that mentioned at all. Circle Club says Ace Moneymaker's son can be the new agent. Yeah, that would be cool if that was his son. So Matt says, I wrote that entire Ace Moneymaker script. Swear to God, one of my first jobs. Isn't it cool that people, all these years later, several decades, and they're still talking about Ace Moneymaker? That has to be an incredible feeling. Like, if I was a game developer, that people remember those details so fondly, that to me is like, wow, this is great. Like, that has to be a hell of a feeling. That's cool. Cool Cat always frustrated me about 05 Chase for the Cup. I always made too many friends, so I had to crash people didn't like on purpose just to get rivals. Circle Club says build your own race shop. Yeah, I wonder how. I know as you move up the race shop changes. How much customization is part of that, if any? I am curious. The more customization, the better. But even if it doesn't go super deep for the first game, definitely as you build for the future, for future games, that's definitely something you want to see more customization in those areas. Let's see. Ace Moneymaker. Everybody loves Ace Moneymaker. Elite says, so Matt, it's many things I'm curious about, but if I had to ask you one question about upcoming game, will caution replays be in NASCAR 25? Or some sort of way the game will tell us what caused the caution? That is a good question and something I always forget to talk about. I don't know if he can answer that question, but that would be something that if you can't answer right here, keep that in mind for the next whatever info release, right? We want to know about the PC release. We want to know if there's a caution replays, things like that. Hey, what's up, Juice 10? So Matt says he was a local radio guy on Orlando radio. He ended up going on to become a game producer himself on original NASCAR NCAA game and many. So that guy, his name was really Ace Moneymaker? No way. Maybe that was his nickname. That'd be crazy. To imagine that you have a child and you just name him Ace Moneymaker. Okay, keep all your raced wins cars after races. Yeah, that sounds cool. I'm assuming we're gonna get trophies. Will we get a trophy room? Like at the race shop, you should have a trophy room or a display for like people that come. They could see all your trophies. Anyway, fellas, gotta run. Sorry, I can't answer more questions. But as Disco says, there is a time and a place for all of you, all of it coming up, and we're excited to get it to you guys. Thanks for the support. Thank you, Matt, for joining. Friend of the channel, much appreciated. And I think I can honestly say, hey, this turned out to be a mini Q&A. So spread that around, guys. If you got your own channel, feel free to use this and talk about it. Much appreciated. Yeah, man, we're all excited. So thank you for spending some time with us, man. I appreciate it as always. Wow, that was cool. I knew I had today I said it would be a good time to do a live stream that I haven't done in a while, and I'm glad I did it. Wow, turned out to be a really good decision. And look, he did answer one question, and stats are not going to be an issue, guys. So and I knew that's why I haven't mentioned stats, because I just didn't see that being an issue. I just don't like to me that whole period from the Eutechnics era up until the first maybe 2 games or 3 in the Heat series, that was an anomaly. That's shouldn't happen again ever, and it's not going to. So we got that at least put away. Everybody likes Matt. See, that's what happens when you actually communicate with the community, and that's all we can ask for. Oh, his real name was Jeff. Okay, thank you for that info. So if anybody's wondering about who Ace Moneymaker was, it's a guy named Jeff that went on to do NCAA games. Mike DeVault, welcome. All right, so I'm going to hang out a couple more minutes. If you guys want to bring anything up, if you want my thoughts on something, this is the time to do it. Circle Club, this sounds cringe, but without Eutechnics, there would be no Disco Legacy. You know something? I would not. You're absolutely right. I started doing videos. It was the second. Was it Inside Line? I think it was Inside Line. And I started doing videos on NASCAR. They just pissed me off so much that I said, I don't see people talking about certain things. I'm going to have to do it myself. And here we are. All these years later, and I still haven't cracked 2,000 subscribers. Not complaining. I've never done it for that. I don't monetize. I don't ask people to like and subscribe. But it is amazing how long I've been doing this, and I'm still under the radar. But I got the attention of the developers. That's all that matters. Let's see. Juice Tan, way better than Motorsport Games. Look, man, I don't mention Motorsport Games anymore. That was a one-time Titanic event. That's not gonna. And I told you guys from day one, whoever ends up getting the license is not. The best thing that could happen was being the developer to come after Motorsport Games. Because I'm telling you, whoever it was not going to go through. They were going to make sure not to do what they did. And I told you guys that from the start. And I think we're in good hands. Elite says, it's cool to see developers actually tune into your channel, man. You've been doing these videos since the Eutechnics days, and you just always wonder if any developers out there was listening to your feedback. Yeah, that to me is the best feeling I can get. Even, like I said, I did have the lead developer in the Heat series. I'm talking about, I think it was by the third Heat game, and he actually acknowledged that he watched my videos, and he said that they all did, right? The developers, and that they felt like I was fair with my criticism. That's all I can ask for. I don't think any of these guys are expecting people to kiss their asses. They just want people to be fair. And if you're going to criticize, be constructive, and you know, they'll listen. Nobody likes to be fucking criticized, but if you know how to do it the right way, they'll listen. Sean Wilson, that's him. Thank you, Elite. Yeah, I remember that when he first, someone else had actually tagged me or and they mentioned me if they watched my, and he said, yeah, we know who he is. We watch his stuff. He's very I remember something like he's critical, but he's fair, or he's fair with his criticism. And I was like, that's all I need to hear. I just, you know, I wear that like a badge of honor, that people respect my integrity, so to speak, you know, because a lot of people do stuff online. They're just looking for attention or just to create, you know, a moment, right? To get attention, to get people to watch. I don't do it for that reason. The attention I'm looking for, I'm starting to get is this. Like, they're listening. Doesn't mean we're going to get everything we ask for, but at least, you know, I've always said the squeaky wheel gets the grease. I'm going to be the squeaky wheel, and maybe they'll consider some stuff like, you know, automatic crew chief. Have a crew chief involved with your career. Help you with your setup. That kind of stuff I think would be innovative in a NASCAR game. And it bridges that gap between casual gamers and hardcore. Right? Because you want that's the one thing I think, or area that you could make bridge that gap. That a casual fan, even hardcore fans, we don't know how to build a setup. And a lot of these adjustments are above our heads. And if they can come up with, and we've seen this with Project Cars too, where they had an engineer. You answer a few questions and he'll actually adjust things for you and explain to you what he's doing. I'd love to see that in a NASCAR game. And you would spend more time in practice coming up with your own setup that you're comfortable with. And it's also immersive. So it checks off a lot of boxes. But really excited. This game is starting to feel more and more like a game I would be developing. Like if I was in charge, this is the direction I would be pushing, right? For the most part. And there are other things I'd like to see, but I'm really pumped. So let's see. I'm gonna read one more comment, and then I'm gonna call it a night. Cool Cat says, I have a feeling there won't be setups in NASCAR 25. It's just gonna be sliders. Actually, I did hear that there are gonna be setups. I don't know where I saw that. I think it was an official. Was it Mike Straw from Insider Gaming? Hold on a second. I could have sworn somebody that was already confirmed. Give me a second. Let me see. Give me a second. I'm looking, guys. Confirmation. Yep, here we go. Let me switch this. This it? Nope. Okay, hold on. Here we go. All right, here we go. Mike Straw, Insider Gaming, exclusive confirmation on NASCAR 25 car setups. The first NASCAR console game in 4 years, NASCAR 25 is facing high expectations from fans. One such concern or hope involves car setups within the game. After NASCAR 21 Ignition for Motors failed to include fully customizable setups, it became one of the features near the top of everyone's wish list. While iRacing has been a bit quiet so far on what players can expect with the cars, the worry about setups is one aspect that there should be no more concern with. I've been able to confirm that NASCAR 25 will in fact feature a full suite of car setup options. As far as how those options will work, I was told players will have a full menu of options to tune their car to their liking. More details are expected to come in a future deep dive prior to launch. So, I hope that answers. Yeah, it's been confirmed. And, you know, being iRacing, that was also something. Just like with the stats, I wasn't that concerned with. I felt like they're not gonna screw that up. So they said full suite, everything there that you need. So I think that can be considered official news. So all right, that's Mike Straw, Insider Gaming. So hope that answers that. I'm going to call it a night. I got things to do. I appreciate everybody joining. And, man, that was cool of Matt Lewis to join. Thank you, as always, for, you know, joining and being part of things. And, yeah, so if and when we get more information, you will hear from me. I'll do a video on it. I'll give you my take on things. And in the meantime, you guys have a good one. Thanks for watching, and yeah, I look forward to your comments later.